Hey guys, welcome back to the Collector Car Network. My name is Luke. What we have here today is something I've been very excited to get my hands on. This is the all-new 2024 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. Taking a look at the exterior off the back, guys, look at this new color. TRD Pro specific, it's called Terra. Now, I would love to hear what you guys think about it because at the office, we're kind of split. We kind of love it, some of us hate it. I fall in the category of thinking it looks really, really awesome. It's definitely a head turner, and I love how it pairs with the black that you're gonna get on this vehicle. Starting off with the black here on the grille, almost like a Raptor style front end here for the grille. You see the Raptor lights up top, and then we get into that black flat color with our gray Toyota embroidered right there in the center. It looks very, very nice. We also have our 360 cameras hidden in here, as well as more off-roading lights when you turn your high beams on for the front grille area. Really, really nice touch. But let's look at our headlights here. These are your standard LED headlights with the projector beam style. They're nice and bright, especially with that high beam turned on. They are very bright. The beam pattern is excellent. We do have functional air inlets here because, guys, this is a hybrid engine, so we're gonna need more of that airflow to keep things nice and cool, especially here in Arizona. Let's move down the line just a little bit further. Check out this. We've seen something very similar for the hood on the Tundra. However, it doesn't say iForce Max like the Tundra did. This says TRD Pro, which, I mean, man, that thing looks really cool, especially from being in the driver's seat looking out. I feel like a badass. More on that in a second. Let's look at these wheels here. These are your BBS forged wheels with our TRD red accents right in the hubcaps there. And as we look just behind that a little bit, we can see our suspension. It has been absolutely dialed for this vehicle, painted in red, gorgeous. It's going to be your Fox reservoir shocks, which everyone knows Fox is a leading brand in the off-road community for shocks. These have performed so excellently. It is very, very soft, especially here on these trails. Let's move down the line a little bit more. LED turn signals built into our side mirrors here. Again, more of that black accenting. Man, that looks good. And let's turn our eyes lower a little bit. You'll notice our side step here, and it's coated in a bed liner. I don't think it's reinforced enough to be used as maybe a rock slider, but it still looks heavy duty nonetheless. So let's take a trip down even further. In addition to these 285 tires, all-terrain tires that roughly measure out to 33 inches or so, you're also gonna get this gorgeous looking exterior. As you guys can see, there is a little bit of dirt caked up on here. We've already had a little bit of fun, but how could you not? This vehicle is made to be doing things like this, so it is what it is. But we do have our LED taillights back here with our black accents all around with our Sequoia branding right smack dab underneath the license plate. As we go lower, we do have more of our parking sensors and hidden 360 cameras. And if we go even lower again, check out these exhaust tips. They look super aggressive because they've stacked them on the driver's side instead of the passenger side, and they stamped it with TRD in all black. It looks really, really clean. But let's go back up here. Open this thing up simply by kicking your leg. Check this out, guys. This is the future. This is 2024. We have this little cargo net here, which has been awesome to store your things back here without it rattling around. And we're gonna go ahead and unclip this. And what we're looking at is 22 cubic feet of space. And you're like, well, that's not a lot. It isn't, but there are 3 rows of seating in this vehicle. So what we're gonna do now is fold these things down. We don't have to worry about the headrests. They simply fold down naturally. Now what we're looking at, 48 cubic feet of space. But if that's not enough, go ahead and fold down your second row of seating. You're looking at 86.9 cubic feet of space. Now, you also may be thinking, well, it doesn't really look even. How am I gonna fit things back here? These seats are in the way. Well, Toyota thought of that, and they included this little thing that pops out like that, and you can adjust it 3 different ways. We're gonna put it right in the middle here. And what this does allows us to plop it like that so that we have a flat surface area. So if we wanted to fold down our second row of seats and throw a mattress back here, we totally could, and it would be pretty dang easy to do so. So with that being said, let's close this thing up. And I say we check out what's underneath the hood. All right guys, this thing opens super easily, super quickly, no pop rod or nothing, just simply hydraulic stuff. What we're looking at is a 3.5 liter twin turbo hybrid V6. Of course, this is part of Toyota's I-Force engine lineup, the Max being the biggest, the baddest, but also the hybrid variant. It puts out impressive torque and horsepower numbers. Now you may be wondering, well, it's a V6, what can it really put out? It puts out more horsepower than its competitors who still have their V8s. You're looking at 437 horsepower in this thing, 583 foot-pounds of torque. So driving this thing at highway speeds, higher RPMs, I mean, you're going to have plenty of pull. And for a vehicle weighing 6,250 pounds, this thing goes. It's very surprising. This thing is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. You cannot get it in a manual. And let's talk about gas mileage. You're looking at 22 on the highway, 19 in the city for a combined 20 miles per gallon. In addition to all that, it does look nice and neat in here per Toyota fashion. And you do have a little bit of a gap between the radiator, the fans, and the front of the grille here. So I can imagine this provides just a little bit more safety. Now with that being said, let's close this thing up, hop inside, see what we got. Now for $80,000, you expect to have a pretty nice interior. But not only is this thing really nice, it's going to be more rugged. You're gonna get those WeatherTech floor mats. You're gonna get premium materials all around, like our Softex trimmed seats here with our red stitching that accentuates our TRD Pro embroidered seats right here. Man, it looks really, really good. Now these are of course power operated for your driver and for your passenger. Even back there, you're getting power operation, which is really cool, but we'll touch on that again in a second. What we're greeted with is a 14-inch screen. It's massive. Now the inside virtually looks identical to the new Tundra, except this one does have the incorporation of rear lockers, which is a simple electronic button right here. We'll talk about that also in a second. But this thing is just absolutely gorgeous looking. Our airplane switches here are such a nice touch. I'm so glad they didn't go with digital climate control because you have to wait on the screens, you have to learn the new technology. It's just so boring, and I love it being just tactile right here. As we go a little bit lower, we do have a QI compatible charger. As we get to our shift knob, you'll notice it does look a little bit different. It has a little more pizzazz to it because it's our TRD. We're gonna have red accents all around. Just below that is our drive mode. So this is gonna be a little more fun stuff that we're getting into. So in addition to your normal and sport and eco modes, go ahead, put this thing in a four-wheel drive, tap this MTS button, then cycle through your drive modes. You're getting deep snow, mud, sand, dirt, and auto. Now, if you're going through terrain that has a little bit of everything, leave it in auto. The vehicle performs excellently. We also, to the right of our MTS button, have a downhill assist crawl function. And what that does, it allows us to crawl downhill at a set speed and not have to touch the pedal, not have to touch the brake. The car will be heavy comfortable. You can do it to as little as 3 miles an hour, all the way up to 18 miles an hour. I don't think anybody's doing 18 miles an hour, but it has been very awesome. It's almost like an engine braking. You know, Jeeps are known for crawling very slow because they've got that low gear ratio, but this car doesn't really need that because of this function. It mimics it very, very well, and we've tested it, and it works quite nicely. As you look at our steering wheel here, no paddle shifters, but it's nice and beefy with our TRD badge right in the bottom, in the middle. And it's basically your standard wheel. We have our audio controls, our radio controls. You can change your lane assist, cruise control, everything from the wheel. Just in front of that wheel, we have a 12.3-inch screen, which is straight out of the Tundra again, guys. It's fully electric. The tachometer area, it's only a speedometer, and say goodbye to your RPMs. You don't get to see that anymore. It's gonna just draw power, and that power comes from how much usage you're using from that battery, which you can see on the max when you're going through your gears. To the left of your steering wheel, we've got these little buttons here that can heat the wheel, open your gas pump, talk about your odometer. I mean, it does a variety of different things back here, including your high beams and autos and all that. But there's one button that sticks out in particular, and it's your TRD light bar button here. Now, this thing is really cool. It's not wired to anything, but Toyota knows you're probably gonna be taking this thing off-road and you probably wanna add a light bar. They have a little button already right here labeled nice and neat. Really, really, really cool touch. As we go to our door panels, we have two-way memory seats for your driver. and one-touch power-operated windows for your driver's seats and, of course, for the rear passengers as well. Guys, this is luxury. Now, let's feast our eyes a little bit higher here. Starting off at our rear view, pulling this tab down turns it into a digital camera so we can see what's behind us. My one gripe is I think it's angled a little bit too high. I think it would perform a lot better and be a little easier to use if it was angled just a little bit lower. Cars up right on my ass, right behind me, I can't really see them. I can only see the top. I don't know how close they are, so bit of an issue, but not too shabby. We do have this moonroof here, and it only opens like this. A bit odd. Never mind. We have just figured it out live on camera. It does open. But what I also want to show you guys that I'm curious to get your opinion on is look above the glove box here. We have this all new Toyota badge, and it looks like it would be very soft, like somebody they went to the Dollar Tree and got some text bubbles and threw them on the dash there. But you know what? In my opinion, they look really, really cool. It's definitely different, and I like it. I think it's unique, but I'm weird. I kind of like unique and ugly things. My coworkers do not like this. Again, half the other coworkers do like it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's pretty much it. Oh, almost forgot. Let's talk about the center console area here. Look at all that space we're getting. So it's like the Tundra. You can open it from the left side. You can also open it from the right side. Plenty of space in here. One USB-C, one USB-A, as well as some organization stuff that you can kind of put any which way you would like it and throw whatever you need in there. Now, with that being said, guys, let's hop into the back and see how much space we got. Guys, the rear is even more comfortable than the driver's and the passenger seat, believe it or not, but there's just so much space in this thing. My leg room is off the charts. Like, I could put a whole table here and do whatever I want to do. It's really, really cool. And if I want to get even more comfortable, check this out. I'll pull this lever back and I can recline and take a little siesta if I wanted to. So this thing is definitely a, road trip cruiser, hanging out with the family with these awesome armrests here. Now, what's really, really, really important for your rear passengers is they get maximum airflow, especially if you have kids, you're going to practice, or you live in Arizona, you want to be cooled down kind of quickly. We have rear climate control back here, so easy to use. We do have one USB-A, one USB-C, and an AC outlet back here, so plenty of charging space for your kiddos. And we also have our vents that come up at the top here that have been extremely nice and very easy to use, as well as our, I don't want to say it, but our OHV handles here, as well as our nice sunshade, giving more of that comfortability aspect to your passengers. Now, yeah, it's nice back here, but I really want to show you guys what's in the third row of seating, so let's hop back there. Okay, guys, you thought that every SUV had to be cramped if it had a third row. Not the Sequoia. There is plenty of space back here. So this thing seats up to 8 people, so 3 back here, 2 here, and 2 up at the front. So much legroom. It's really, really impressive. In addition to all this legroom you're gonna get some functionality and some comfort stuff, including more AC vents at the top here. So you're gonna be cooling this car down every which way. It's perfect. In addition to that, we do have a rear sunshade for your back passengers to really enjoy, a comfortable ride, as well as 2 cup holders on the left side, 2 cup holders on the right side. The right side, a little bit different. You don't have the speaker that's in the way, so you get this little cubby, and inside that cubby you could throw your phones in there, but it also has an AC outlet. It's a USB-C outlet, so you can have your kids sit back here and they can still charge their tablets, and no one in this car is going to be fighting about who gets to charge which tablet. So absolutely amazing. For this price point of this vehicle, it checks all the boxes. Is it worth the $80,000? I'm really thinking so. But with that being said, let's go see what this thing is made of. Let's go take it for a spin and see what it's got. Driving this thing on the road, first things first, guys, this is smooth as hell. It's soft, it's squishy, it's got power, it checks all the boxes. I'm gonna say that a million times, but it really does. I love how comfortable these seats are. My only gripe, because of the way these seats are constructed, you can expect to slide around a little bit more. They don't grip you quite as tightly, and I think that they should grip you a little more tighter, because this being a really heavy vehicle and it's having these off-road shocks, you're going to expect a lot of body roll, and that is the case. So when you're going through corners and you're getting that body roll, you're free to slide back and forth, which can be pretty unpleasant. So I just wish they gripped you a little bit better. Now, talking about responsiveness for the throttle and for the brakes, let me tell you, the throttle response is fantastic. The braking is very sensitive. So if you're used to a slow, you can ease your foot onto the brake, that's not really the case with this thing. These things, for a vehicle so heavy, they have to be able to stop. So you can expect a very sensitive yet responsive brake pedal. So if you're into that, check this thing out. I will say though, put this thing into sport mode, it's going unbelievably fast. Yeah, your gas mileage is gonna suffer a little bit, but let me tell you, this thing has plenty of power. I get wanting to buy these kind of vehicles. I mean, they're practical, but they're also pretty quick. It's the iForce Max engine in this thing is pretty damn impressive. Now, I will say with that throttle response, when you go and you're trying to carefully park this thing, or just give it a response, like you're trying to be specific with the amount of input you're putting into the pedal, it's so easy to get it exactly how you want it. Whether you're just creeping into a parking spot and you need to apply just a little bit of throttle, the car just somehow knows to give it to you so smooth, so easy, to really make you feel like you're in control. Now let's also talk about the gas mileage that we're getting. Like I said, we're going to get 20 combined, which is pretty good, and it's not too shabby. We, on our driving, found a little shy of 20 miles per gallon, but we have been putting the pedal to the metal just a little bit. Also, in regards to wind noise, this thing is pretty dang quiet. I'd probably rank it an 8 out of 10, 10 being very, very quiet. We were going, then I looked down and we were going like 100 miles an hour the other day, and it was so quiet, I just had no idea. But on a windy day, you can expect it to be a little bit higher, and also depends on wind direction. The steering feels nice and light. When you go into sport mode, you will get a little tighter feel from your steering wheel. We also have that pumped in sound system. Some people are a fan, some people aren't a fan. I think it works in this vehicle. It does sound quite beefy. Also, talking about sounds, the JBL 14 speaker sound system in this thing with surround sound and a subwoofer, absolutely amazing. I mean, the JBL system is great. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it is so crisp in this vehicle. No matter if you're sitting in the front, in the back, or even in the way back, it sounds really, really awesome. Also guys, the lane assist for this vehicle is not too shabby. You guys know, I don't like the lane assist that drag you back into your lane, that really grab a hold of the wheel and jerk you. I think it's startling, I think it's dangerous. However, this Toyota Sense 2.5 has done a great job with giving me just a slight little vibration in the steering wheel to make sure I'm paying attention, and if need be, it will slowly turn the wheel while vibrating. So it's very soft, very subtle, but still gets the job done safely. Another thing I like with their safety system is the blind spot monitoring. Our B-pillars are pretty big on this vehicle, so looking behind to make sure cars aren't there can be a bit of a challenge, but it hasn't been, because the way the monitoring works, it doesn't just sense cars next to you, it senses it even further than you could imagine. And I really like that for a big vehicle like this. I haven't found myself accidentally turning into people, so good job, Toyota. But guys, with that being said, I think we're all curious, how does this thing perform off-road? Let's find out. This thing has proven to be so capable off-road, so smooth, and it's that Fox reservoir shocks all around that really are putting in that dampening, making this thing super comfortable to drive. I left my air compressor at home, so we weren't able to air this thing down. But you know what? At 37 PSI all around, it's not doing a terrible job. It's still miles smoother than my Jeep at 15 PSI with my Fox suspension. So whatever Toyota has done, man, they have absolutely nailed and tuned this thing to its core, making it very comfortable off-road. Now, we started it off in two-wheel drive, and we noticed a bit of sliding. It felt a little more heavy. Wasn't, too impressed with it, and that was until I pressed that MTS button, turned this thing into four-wheel drive, turned this thing to auto, and this thing absolutely grips the trail. It's got almost like too much torque. It's got plenty of power, but it makes cruising through these just trails a breeze, especially through these corners and over these washes. It handles it, it just eats it up. And that's something that a lot of vehicles struggle with. but not in this thing. Now I can imagine the 4Runner is even more capable than this vehicle, but I am really impressed that a full-size SUV is this much fun to drive off-road. And we're also going to get some pretty nice articulation with this thing with that independent front suspension and our 5-link solid axle in the rear. We're gonna be doing a little bit of flexing, but we're still gonna maintain that comfy ride. And I am just absolutely flying through this right now. And I don't feel unsafe, I feel really in control. This is the ultimate Baja machine for a full-size SUV. This thing is so much fun. I would sell my Jeep in a heartbeat to buy one of these things. That 3:31 gear ratio is definitely the right way to do things, Toyota. I mean, it feels very balanced. It can go the top speeds, but it's also got plenty of torque down below. And this thing is just absolutely phenomenal. Take this corner a little fast here. Absolutely no problem at all. Does not nearly as rattle as loud as my Jeep does, that's for sure. Everything feels more secure. Absolutely amazing. What we're gonna do now, guys, is we're gonna turn this thing into sand mode, and we're gonna go through this creek bed filled with sand and filled with some water, and we're gonna see how well this thing behaves. All right, here goes nothing. Let's see if we don't get stuck. Oh, nice. Plenty of traction. This is easy. Very nice, very smooth too. Let's take it into some deeper sand here. A little bit of sliding, that's pretty fun though. But still, we're maintaining all that traction. This thing is just doing such a great job. A+ for 6,000 pounds, no sinking. I'll take that. Whether it's tackling moderate to challenging trails or just cruising around on the city or on the highway, the TRD Pro Sequoia has proven to check all the boxes and do it all. Obviously, guys, everything we have said is subjective. We'd always recommend you go down to your local Toyota dealership, try one of these bad boys out, and then let us know down in the comments how you felt about it. I haven't always been a Toyota fanboy, but it's really hard to not be after driving such a capable and fun vehicle. That's gonna be pretty much it for the video, guys. Remember, if you wanna collect a car of your own, check out our website at ClassicCars.com, which is our online marketplace with over 30,000 listings live on the site. Also, be sure to check out Auto Hunter, which is our sister website, and it's our 7-day online auction. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.